What happens when you're a brand new farm just dabbling in chickens and eggs and trying to find your way? In today's coaching call, I sit down with Aaron and Glenn of Wild Cedar Ranch, and we talk about what's working in their sales funnel, where they should focus next, and how keeping the joy front and center can actually guide their business growth. If you're in the early stages of farming or just need a reminder to follow the fun, you'll love this one. Let's get started. Hey there, this is Corinna Bench, and welcome to the My Digital Farmer podcast. In today's market, it's not enough to just grow your product. You've got to know how to sell it too. Welcome to the My Digital Farmer podcast, where we reveal online marketing strategies and tips to help farmers like you get better and more confident at marketing. Learn how to find more customers, increase your sales, and build a strong brand for your farm. Let's start the show. Well, welcome to episode 331 of the My Digital Farmer podcast. I'm your host, Corinna Bench, one of the farmers at Shared Legacy Farms out in Elmore, Ohio. I'm also the founder of MyDigitalFarmer.com, which is all about trying to help other farmers get more confident in their marketing and sales strategies so that you can grow a profitable business. How's everyone doing today? Welcome back to the show. Big shout out to all of my regular binge listeners. I'm glad you're here. And if you're new to the podcast, so glad that you're checking me out. Make sure you subscribe to the show and go listen to my first 10 episodes, especially if you are new to the marketing space and you need to learn the overall framework. They were designed to be an on-ramp into the marketing lingo. It's a great place to start, but you could also just look through all of my back issues, my archives, over 300 episodes now, and just whatever tickles your fancy, you can start there. There's a lot of good stuff. Make sure you get onto my email list too, because when you do, I'm going to send you an email into your inbox like every 5 days for maybe 3 months. And I'm going to roll out the most important things you need to know first as you're trying to learn how to be a better marketer. So go to mydigitalfarmer.com/subscribe and you can start getting that free resource. Today's podcast is sponsored by my friends at Local Line. If managing orders, customers, and inventory feels chaotic this season, it might be time for a better system. Local Line is the all-in-one sales platform built for farms and food hubs. Whether you're selling direct to consumer or managing wholesale buyers or running a CSA. With tools like e-commerce, automated inventory management, subscriptions, barcode scanning, box builder, and POS, Local Line helps you simplify operations and grow your sales. In fact, farmers using Local Line increase their annual sales by 23% and boost their average order size by 9.5%. Switching is easy. No setup fees, no sales commissions, and your onboarding manager will migrate your storefront for free. No joke, so that you can get started without missing a beat. As a podcast listener, you'll also get one premium feature for free for a full year when you use my code MDF2025 at checkout. So head to mydigitalfarmer.com/local line, use that coupon code, and you'll be on your way. Start selling smarter this season with Local Line. And now back to the show. Today is going to be fun. I decided to include a recording of a one-to-one coaching call that I had with one of my farm marketing school members. This is an option that opens up for my members once they've been in the program for, I want to say it's 3 months, then they get this little perk unlocked. And I have quite a few people that take me up on it. And we get to talk for 30 to 45 minutes over whatever they want to talk about. And so I never quite know what to expect. And sometimes the conversations that we have just feel so relevant to other farmers that I know listen to the podcast. And so today I decided that I would share one of these recordings with all of you. And I did, of course, get permission to do that from our two guests today, Aaron and Glenn from Wild Cedar Ranch. in Texas, and they are still in the very beginning stages of their business. Glenn is actually retired. Aaron is a full-time school teacher. And so this is kind of a hobby thing on the side that they would like to grow into something more significant, but they don't have a lot of pressure to make that happen quickly. And so this is kind of a unique case. I know some of you who are listening are also in that situation. But even for those of you who are full-time farmers, you've just gotten into the business and you really need to make profit fast, I think there are some wise lessons in here that could be relevant to you. I really enjoyed this conversation. We talk a lot about their sales funnel, like where they are starting out in their, after 1 year of business. I kind of listened to some of the things they've tried, some of the things they're innately doing well. Aaron got inside of Farm Marketing School and wanted to put some structure together, like an email nurture sequence, and just get some real good clarity about some of the elements she needed to have in her sales funnel. And she's been working through that process really well. And so I think she wanted to just get on this call, she and Glenn, and talk out, what should we be working on now? Like, what is the most important thing for us to be figuring out in the early stages of building a business? And it was a fascinating conversation. I thought there were some really good wisdom gems in here. And I just wanted to give you a sense, too, of the kinds of things that you might talk about if you ever got onto a one-to-one call with me. It can be anything, but I hope that you'll see how they found their way to their own solution as we talked. It was all from their own ideas, and it was just me trying to pull it out of them with some well-placed questions and a few prompts. The answers are inside of you, my friends, and you know exactly how to manage your business. Sometimes, though, you just need to talk it out with someone. And so that's what I love about being able to offer this to my farmers inside of Farm Marketing School. Some of you might be thinking about joining my school this fall now that the season is slowly, well, it's not coming to an end yet, but I know it will be winding down at least here in a month or so. I typically have a lot of farmers that come in like October and then stay in through most of the winter time. And so maybe you're thinking about doing that too and joining our community. Right now we have about 45 people inside of Farm Marketing School. And it's a good crowd. It might be something that would really help you this coming winter to spend some time building some of these systems together. We're going to do some fun stuff this winter. I have some cool ideas, and I'm going to be updating some of the sessions that are already in there and really focusing a lot more on ChatGPT and how we can be using ChatGPT in all of the projects to make things a whole lot faster. So maybe just be thinking about that as you listen to this call. Just ask yourself, is that something that would be helpful to me? Can I imagine myself in that community? Is this the kind of support that I feel like I need? Is this where I want to invest my resources this winter? And maybe that's a heck yes. And if so, I hope so, and look forward to spending time with you this winter. You can learn more about Farm Marketing School at mydigitalfarmer.com/FMS. And of course, I have a little plug for it in the halfway point of the show too, so you can always listen to that as well. All right, so without further ado, we're going to jump right into this recording of a Zoom call. And you will notice that my voice is not quite as loud as theirs. I had to do some major adjusting in the editing section of this podcast. I forgot to hook up my microphone because I wasn't planning on using this for an episode. And so it was just using the microphone from my laptop instead of a real microphone. So I had to go in and try to raise the volume on all the places where I was talking. And you'll still notice that I'm a little bit softer. I'm sorry about that. I hope you can still hear me. And sometimes the editing is just what it is. So I hope you get some value from this conversation. I want you to think about if you remember these good old days back when you were starting your business, or maybe that's where you are right now. What can you remember from those times? What wisdom can you glean from this conversation? And I hope you can hear the inspiration and the energy from these two fabulous people, Aaron and Glenn. All right, let's dive into the interview. Here we go.
Okay, I'm here.
Hi.
I also sent the link to my husband because he had some questions and I was like, I don't know.
Yeah. So you're in Texas, I saw.
Yes. Living
Love
it up.
Did you know
It's
that
hot.
I grew up there?
Oh, did you? That's
Yeah.
awesome.
I grew up in San Antonio until I was 16. So,
Nice.
yeah.
It's been fun. Like
Okay,
my
so
husband was in the military, and so he retired. We
okay.
retired here and just kind of landed and bought property, and now we're farmers.
Now you're farmers. What else do you like? Is that all you do? Are you trying to be a full-time farmer or are you full-time farmers or?
Um, my husband is retired, so he's a full-time stay-at-home. I call him
Hmm.
a house husband.
Hmm.
He works the property and makes it, is working on getting it kind of the way he wants his vision.
Hmm.
I am a teacher, hence the classroom behind me.
Yes. Yes.
So I'm a full-time teacher, and then obviously then like taking care of the chickens and farm stuff on the weekends and at night and everything.
Okay.
So,
Um, well, I did read like the small little note that you left. What did you want to get out of this call?
yeah, so I think just kind of pick your brain a little bit about kind of like how to keep it sustainable. Like I do have a full-time job and I'm taking on the brunt of kind of the marketing piece.
Mhm.
um my husband does kind of the physical labor side of things, and so how do we keep it sustainable, and then just kind of how do we grow. I got on that one monthly phone call a couple months ago
Mhm.
when I had asked about like how do we get that funnel started. Like I had all the pieces built, but there was nobody going
Mhm.
through the funnel.
Mhm.
And so since then I did several of the things that the team had kind of suggested. I've been posting on like Reddit like once or twice a month in the different forums, and that seems to be actually the most like productive, which is odd. Like I would not have thought, but
Interesting. Yeah.
but yeah, like I get a lot of like messages and feedback from that. um and then through that we ended up going to a brewery in town is hosting a chicken bingo. And so we provide the
I
chickens,
saw
they
that.
provide the bingo board.
I saw that on your social. I'm like, she has to tell me about that. That's
Yeah.
hilarious.
And then we sell our stuff while we're there, and we added them as like a pickup point. um and so we've done that about 4 or 5 weeks now, and like we got some sales this last Sunday, which was really awesome. um and then yeah, just kind of like refining things, and like, where do we go from here? Do we just keep trucking along? Do we need to change anything?
Okay. Can you
uh,
just really quick explain how the chicken bingo thing works? Because I think that's
yeah.
really cute.
So they've got basically like a piece of plywood type of deal with a grid and numbers, and people
Hmm.
buy numbers for like, I think they buy them for $3 a piece. And then when the numbers are all purchased, we put the chicken in the little cage on top of the piece of plywood. And wherever the chicken poops, that's who wins.
Okay, so I've heard of this with cows where they're okay, but now it's
Yeah,
just with a chicken.
it's just with a chicken.
So you're waiting for it to poop. You're just sitting there and
Yes.
watching it.
Yes.
Okay.
And sometimes it happens like really fast. Like, you put the chicken in there, it takes like 3 steps and then poops. Other times the people like we're like, oh my God, like, you've got to like coax it over to your number. So like they're like cheering on the chicken, and
Okay.
it's it's pretty
Okay.
funny.
That actually sounds entertaining. And so you're
Yeah.
getting people to come watch and just have a good positive
Yeah.
experience associated with your
Yes. And
brand.
it's the
Yeah.
brewery made the board. And so then we just provide the chickens, and and we get to sell our stuff. And so it's kind of a win-win collaboration there. And then on Sunday we had people who were like, hey, like, would you bring this to like an event? And we were like, oh, I didn't think about that. Like, um
Yeah.
so
So
just
do you just keep
We're gonna,
having
we're
new
gonna take it
bingo
on,
boards?
we're gonna
Hi
take it,
there, by the way.
hey, we're gonna take it on the road, yeah. So it's a
Do you just keep putting a new chicken in? So you just keep playing it
yeah,
over and
they
over again?
just
Okay.
clean the poop off, and then people
Okay.
buy numbers for the next round, and then
And are
we put
you
a new
getting
chicken
some
in.
of that money from buying tickets for for the board, or is that all going to
As of
the
like kind of our original arrangement was that we would be there to like provide the chickens, and we would sell our stuff, and they
Mhm.
give us free drinks.
Mhm. Yeah.
And then they keep like half the pot for every round, and then the other half goes to the person who won.
Okay. Cool.
So we're not making any money directly, but we do get the benefits of like, you know, free alcohol and like an afternoon away from the farm.
Yeah.
Kind of
one
Well,
some
thing.
and
forced relaxation.
One thing that's
Brand
happened though that Aaron didn't mention is we've become much more, I don't know about assertive, but just hey, can you mention Wild Cedar Ranch more often? And so they would say, hey, say hello to our chicken handlers, Wild Cedar Ranch. And Aaron actually bought this really cool prop. It's like a little picnic table. And he put it in front of their cashier, their cash register. Has our honey, has our other stuff on it, right?
Yeah.
And so they go, oh, this is their stuff. Go see them.
Yes.
And so it's turned into this really cool kind of symbiotic relationship, and they're having a good time. And interesting enough, they call it chicken chip bingo.
I love
some
it.
Austin bar called it that. So we got the trademark. Well, Aaron was called Bok Bok Bingo.
There you go.
And
trademark
so
that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So we're,
the name could be trademarked, and we're just using a different name. Same thing. You can't trademark the event, really.
Yeah. Now you need to come up with different drink names. That's the next thing.
Oh yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
And that's how they'll make money too. So
yes,
that's great. Well, thank you for sharing that. Did you want to say anything before we get started? I know that you just joined us. I actually don't remember your name. Did you tell me your name?
Glenn.
Okay, Glenn.
Yeah.
No,
I'm looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to this call. Aaron told me about like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I wrote down some notes, but excuse me, just looking forward to really kind of hone in on our ability to market better, but also slowly grow our business, which it seems to be doing, and that we never outsell our demand. We never overpromise and underdeliver. We want to be able to give our customers what they want at a good price. And I think one thing that we're missing probably, and Aaron works on it all the time with social media, is the differences between what we have and what is available for the normal consumer at the supermarket. And so we have to differentiate from our competition. And that's what we're trying to accomplish by word of mouth and other means.
Okay. How many years have you been doing this?
Well,
early on. Okay, so you're still early on.
Oh yeah. We started with a sick chicken, and it turned into chicken math, and now we have 40 birds. And Aaron, how long have we been doing this? Year?
It's like a year and a half, maybe.
Yeah.
The chicken started laying eggs last August, and I was like, we had enough, and I was like, here, like, anybody want some? And then,
and her other teachers are really a huge customer base.
Yeah.
But we need to get. Obviously, you can't put all eggs in one basket. Not a. So we're really trying to get out there, and the bar is one way. I think learning things along the way and trying to just be more, not create a new, not build a new wheel, just retry different things that have worked in the past for other people. They're successful.
Okay. Yeah. Who is your ideal customer, do you think? If you had to pick someone that you didn't have to beg them to get your eggs, or it should feel easy to sell to them. Who are those people?
Yeah. So we kind of look for people who kind of care about the animal welfare piece.
Okay.
There's a lot of people are kind of have that mindset in Austin. And then looking for that better nutrition, because the eggs have more nutrition. And then we also do the quail eggs, which are a nutritionally dense food. And so that's kind of where that's where a lot of my Reddit posts kind of hit, is that, if you want to, know where your food comes from and kind of know that the animals are living a good life. They're not factory chickens that are crammed together, just getting feed. we're harvesting like the prickly pear from our property, and like we're not planting it just because and trying to like manufacture this idea. It's just like what naturally kind of happens
Right.
on the ranch.
And the average person, when they buy from you, how many are they buying? 1 dozen or multiple dozen?
1 or 2 dozen chicken eggs usually.
Okay.
At least
Or and then frequently, probably once every couple of sales, they'll add on like a honey or a prickly pear syrup.
Yeah.
Okay.
So one thing I came up with was developing a honey chicken recipe. So buy the whole chicken and get honey half price possibly.
Yeah.
And here's a recipe to, and we're actually going to do it. We're going to actually defrost some chickens and go through the process of doing 2 or 3 recipes and see which one we like. So it's kind of that, it's really kind of this cool little homegrown homestead type of business that we don't want to get 20,000 chickens out there just roaming around. We want to have a really cool place. And for me personally, for Aaron to finally say, or at one point say, you know what, I'm done with school. I'm done with your, I can walk out of here anytime I want to and come to the farm and do our business. And
so you want to replace her income.
What's that again?
You would like to replace her.
Right.
You don't need to
Ideally.
replace yours because he's retired.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
So right now you have the freedom to have it be a side hustle, because a lot of people are like, oh my God, I need to make money. I need to make money next month, Corinna. And you don't necessarily have that pressure.
No, not at all.
Okay.
Because I'm retired.
It's still, we're still in like it's fun and like,
good.
Like we're at that point where like chicken chores in the afternoon to take care of all the birds takes us about 30 minutes, really like 30 minutes in the morning, 30 minutes in the afternoon of like, real outside sweaty, like feeding, watering, all that kind of stuff. Obviously we know like if we get more animals and stuff like that, it's going to get more. I think our big thing right now is I think we're doing really well with like the eggs and the honey. People are interested in the prickly pear syrup. A lot of people are like, ooh, what's that about? Like, what's that like? How do you make it? All that stuff. But it's the whole chickens. I really thought like when we had done the whole chickens that those would be like a big seller. And people just haven't purchased them. We've only had a couple of sales. And so
I think one thing that Aaron mentioned before was there's a huge gap between our highest price product over here and the lowest price chicken over here. There's nothing to graduate it from.
Yeah, that's called a product ladder.
Yeah.
So
I had listened to your thing and was like, we're missing a product.
Right.
Well, and maybe how does your customer want to use chicken? Like, think about the average person where you live when they're like, let's have chicken tonight.
Yeah.
What does that mean? Like, you tell me right now, what does that mean? I'm going to have chicken.
It's
tonight.
Usually, I think it's going to be like the broken down chicken pieces, not a whole chicken.
I think you're right. So you either need to educate people. If you don't want to do that and you're like, sorry, you take the bird or you don't take anything at all, then you've got to do a lot more work on the other side of like educating people on how to different ways to cook with a whole bird before they're going to feel like they want to try it. You may also want to start collecting social proof, whether that's, testimonials isn't actually what I'm thinking. But social proof is like when like a review, a testimonial, a photo of something that a customer took using your food that says this worked. This is really good, and it's coming from someone else, not your mouth. So if you have other people, social proof, right? They're saying yes, this works. If you have a whole bunch of other people saying that, people will just jump on the bandwagon and want to give it a try. They're waiting to see that other people like it. So I don't remember seeing that necessarily on your website. But I don't know if I was looking for it either.
One thing to do, though, here to interrupt you is just with the recipe we're talking about, the honey chicken, we could actually videotape that and show that you throw the whole bird in,
Yeah.
with these different things, components into Instapot, and then
Yeah.
5 hours later, 3 hours later, all of a sudden you open it up and there's your meal, and
Yeah.
it's already kind of
Right.
broken up and easy to take
Right.
apart.
Right. So teaching people how to cook a
Right.
whole bird, there's many different ways you could show them how to do it on a
Yeah.
grill. You could show them how to make chicken bone broth once
Yeah.
you're done with the bird, right? But you also may want to consider, and I don't know legalities here, but like, are you open to selling meat by the cuts and
Yes.
to see if even just to beta test it? I'm a big fan of beta testing. Like, don't
Yeah.
change your whole operation.
Right.
Go that route, like, and commit, but try it. Be like, you know what? Let's
Actually,
just see for this month. Let's try like tearing apart some birds and
Aaron,
just
just
selling, either you could just sell it where you've already they still buy the whole bird, but you've done the work of
right,
separating the pieces. You
right,
could
Yeah.
try that. Or
right,
you could say, I'm only selling the breasts
right.
and the drums. You'll if you follow the path of most people that I coach, you'll notice that people just want the breasts.
Yeah.
And then you'll be stuck with all these other quote unquote less desirable pieces. And this is why they often don't do it that way, or they have to come up with other offers to incentivize, like bundling certain things or whatever, to try and incentivize
Okay.
people to get the other parts if that's the way you choose to go. So, but you could even end up creating subscriptions, right? If you start to sense that, oh, a lot of people, want to have breasts on a regular basis, and I can get them like subscribed once every 2 months or once every month. I don't know what your schedule could be, but
Yeah.
you could actually package it that way. We do what's called a monthly chicken share. We don't actually do it. Another farm does it.
Mhm.
And they go process the chicken somewhere. They get it frozen, but they're processed in different pieces. And so in the bag, there is one whole chicken. There is two different packages of chicken breasts. There's two packages of drums, two packages of wings, and a chicken sausage, which is what everybody is loving, by the way.
Oh.
The value added sausage, yeah. So experimenting with that too. Anyway, they all come together, all frozen, and it's enough to last for a month. And I
Oh,
love it. Every time I get it, I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. So
Yeah.
even just thinking about like, how does a customer want to acquire, like, how would they use your product if you sold them chicken? What's the ideal cuts they want? Um, and maybe even trying to sell them a large amount that they would go through in a month and then they would come back and replenish. So those are just some um, just be trying to figure out
I
how
like
does a
that.
customer use chicken, like, and how could I, in terms of frequency of purchase or the
Yeah.
types of cuts they would prefer. But the sausage is, I've heard that from so many people, that the sausage is where it's at, and you can
we've actually talked about,
charge a lot more for it too.
yeah,
So
we
it's
Yeah.
value added.
talked about it. Aaron and I talked about it. And we're like, well, we can't. And she told me we can't go back and defrost it and cut it and then freeze again. But I
You
said,
might have to have if you have a processor, they would have to do it for you. I
yeah,
think is how.
or we could do actually, Aaron, chicken sausage from the ones that we've already frozen, right?
Yeah.
And
We can definitely
sausage
look
those
into that.
and then just refrigerate those.
Yeah. It would
I
have
don't
a
know what the
shorter.
legality is, but
Yeah.
there are some like legal
Yeah.
laws about
There are
all of
rules
that.
around all of that.
And
Yeah.
I'm not a chicken farmer, so I don't know what they are. I just buy in that, I buy in the
Yeah.
product from another farmer, which is
Like,
another
Yeah.
thing to
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
about. That might be a way to scale too, is to
Yeah.
locate some other businesses and say, I have product. Would you like to buy it from me? And you can sell it to your customer base. And so that's another
Yeah.
way that.
the other thing I was thinking about, a couple things I'm thinking about, as you talked about, was one, the subscription is huge. I think two, also collaborating with other farmers in the area. They might have a lot. We're surrounded by other Spanish farmers and things. They may have things to sell, but they don't know how to sell. They don't want to, or they don't, they're just not comfortable with it.
Yeah.
So put it on our website.
Yes.
But the other piece of it is, I think you're right in regard to bundling is, hey, here's again, a cut up chicken ready to go.
Yeah.
So you buy it, bring it home, put in the fridge. Next night, that night, whatever, you're throwing things together, and you don't have to go through the process of actually cutting it up.
Yeah, well, because for some people, they honestly don't know how to cut a chicken, and
Right,
that's actually sad,
right,
but it's
right,
true.
right.
Yeah.
And they don't even
That was one of the
want to learn
educational
that.
things I was kind of planning on putting in motion, was like
Yeah.
having like a how to maybe series about how to process a chicken.
Today's podcast is sponsored by Farm Marketing School. All right, farmer, let me ask you something. Is marketing your farm something you actually enjoy? Or does it feel like a constant struggle? If you are like most farmers that I talk to, you are wearing all the hats and marketing always seems to slip through the cracks. Can I get an amen? That's exactly why I created Farm Marketing School. It's an online membership designed to help farmers like you build a simple, repeatable marketing system that actually works. Inside, you'll get bite-sized, step-by-step projects that make marketing easier. Each month, you pick what to work on, like writing better sales emails or improving your website copy or setting up your online store, and I walk you through exactly how you should be doing it. And you're not doing this alone. Every month, we have a live Zoom meetup where you can ask me questions, meet other members of Farm Marketing School, get coaching, and hear what's working for other farmers. It's like having a farm marketing mentor in your back pocket. This isn't some long, overwhelming course. The projects are designed to be completed in under 30 days, so you're making steady progress without it taking over your life. So if you're ready to stop winging it and finally build a marketing system that brings in steady sales, come join Farm Marketing School today. Sign up for your first month and see what a difference it makes. Go to mydigitalfarmer.com/FMS to get started. And now back to the show. So
Just hadn't
you've
gotten there yet.
identified that your product ladder is something that probably needs work. I want to just point out to you that the eggs are a
Uh-huh.
great gateway product. I mean,
Yeah.
everybody loves eggs, everybody needs eggs. And now once they're in your environment,
Yeah.
they they can at that point begin to learn that you even have chickens. So I want you to,
Yeah.
although I'm sure you're putting pictures of your chickens on
Yeah.
and you're doing the chicken bingo and whatever, um, just know that like eggs may function as your gateway into your brand. And then once they're in your brand, you need to have, it's like that vision of the baton, like running a race and you're passing the
Yeah.
baton. Like you need to have a moment in your communication where a customer who's bought the eggs now finds out you have chickens and they can kind of
Yeah.
sit on that for a little while. And then you're occasionally giving them offers to buy the next thing in your product ladder, which might be chicken breasts or,
Yeah.
whatever bundle you come up with.
Right.
And then what is the next step? Oh, well, we always want to encourage three things. We're trying to, first of all, just get new customers in all the time through the gateway.
Yeah.
That's number one. Number two, you want to increase the average cart value. So every time they
That's
do
right.
buy from me, how can
That's
I get them to put a little bit more in? And you'll find that it tends to max out at some point, whatever that number is going to be. It's for me, it seems to be like $40. I cannot get people to buy more than that in vegetables. Um, I'm trying though. I keep trying. And then the other thing is that you're looking at order frequency.
right.
How many times can I get this customer to come back and buy? And that number is going to be reflected in the average customer value, right? So in 1 year, what does an average customer spend with you? And we're trying to get that number to go up as well.
Right.
So if you only ever sell eggs, you will be limited in the average customer value. Do you see
Right.
that? Because your eggs are only what, 5, 6, I don't know what you're charging, bucks
Right.
per
Ours are $6 a dozen.
$6 a dozen.
And then
And
Quill.
that's a pretty low dollar amount, right? And it's also doesn't probably have a huge profit margin. So you
Yeah.
want to try and get them into products that have a higher profit margin
Right.
and get them to become habitual buyers of these higher margin products. So as you're thinking about what am I scaling, you probably will need to scale your eggs a little bit. But I think there comes a point when you can say, you know what? I can stop trying to scale the egg operation because it's really just supposed to function as my doorway
Hmm.
into my business because the money is being made over here in the protein department or, some of
Yeah.
these collaborations that you could create where you're basically just buying in stuff and getting that to, be added to the cart or whatever. So that's some stuff to think about as you move forward. Yeah.
Yeah.
I also wanted to say, you mentioned the word, it's still fun right now, working on the
Right,
chickens. And I just thought that was an interesting sentence because you use the word still as if you expect it to one day not be fun.
right.
And I just want to point that out to you. What if that didn't have to be true? What if one of your goals as you scale is to make sure that whatever you do, you stay in the land of fun?
Well, that's
Yeah.
why I just said a bit ago, I don't want to have 20,000 chickens out
You
there.
did say that.
That's the reason why. We want to keep it in this, like, Aaron wants to get goats or sheep, and we're looking at rabbits.
Ultimately, it's a mini cow,
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
purely for fun.
But the thing
You
is,
could go into the world of goat soap. Watch out if you go
Yeah,
there. Like
I
that's crazy
know.
good money.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's we see it from a point of view of, this is not a manufacturing plant, a backyard, or our property. This is a place that we enjoy being in and we enjoy working with. And we don't want to become okay, you got to get up. The employees are going to be here. They got to start packing up all the 6,000 eggs we have that's been laid last night, right?
Yeah.
I don't mind employees or contractors or whatever, but it's more of, like, Aaron is absolutely correct. I love the fact that her and I get to work together and be together when we do these things, and we don't want to have this crisis of, oh my god, we've got to produce 6,000 eggs this week.
Yeah.
And because summer comes along, all of a sudden the eggs start to drop off because of the heat. We have actually oscillating fan out there for things.
Yeah.
I know.
So they keep on producing. And
Now we have bougie chickens. A
well,
little AC unit going,
they're getting a misting fan from Aaron, and these guys are living. Let me put a TV out there for you to watch other
Yeah, watch some soap opera.
Yeah. So and Aaron is on point. We want it to be fun and still be fun and not lose that
Yeah.
kind of, I don't know about innocence, but more of just enjoyment.
Yeah. A lot of farmers have lost that
Right.
Mhm.
that I
Right.
coach. And
Right.
it breaks my heart. Actually, we were there once too. I'll just admit it. And so I think it is hard. It is hard to stay in the land of fun.
How did you pull back from that though? What did you do to pull back from that place where it became from a chore back to enjoyment?
Yeah, I think we had to look at we had to look at our numbers. We first just got started wanting to just farm for fun too. Like Kurt just loves to have his hands in the dirt, but we didn't really think about how we also have to make money
Right.
and make profit.
Right.
And I think when we started feeling ourselves really burning out, was sort of then when we were looking at, well, we need to, where are we actually making the money? And where are we losing the money?
Right.
And that's when we started to realize what we needed to stop doing. So we pulled away from several pickup sites in our CSA. We stopped carrying certain products in our store because they weren't making any margin really for us at all. And they were creating a lot of extra work. So we got some of our time back. And I pulled out of 2 market locations because the farmers, we were making like, I don't know, $600 for an entire day sitting there. And that's just the income coming in. That doesn't count all the time we took the day before to get the stuff ready and the time
Sure.
of
Yeah.
sitting there, right?
Right.
So all of a sudden we had 2 days back in our lives that we could stay on the
Right.
farm.
Huge.
Yeah, so we just sort of realized that we were trading time for money, but the money wasn't really
Good.
enough.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a common problem, and we I just want to encourage you to make sure that you stay in the land of fun, that you're doing things that bring you energy. I
Right.
also say follow the energy. So this whole
Yeah.
chicken bingo thing, like it looks like you think it's amazing and it's a
Yeah.
blast and people are enjoying it. So stay in that energy until it's run its course, right? It's doing
Yeah.
something for you right now and just let it do what it's doing, build that brand awareness.
Right.
And don't feel like you have to rush this process of building your
Right.
business
Right.
super strong, super fast. It sounds like it wants to grow, and you
Yes.
just need to let it find its pace and, follow its energy and its pace.
Yeah. I think, yeah, I think from Aaron and I point of view, it's, we understand that process, and we're very cautious to make sure we don't have this huge jump in demand, right? And all of a sudden we have to, we're pushing stuff out all the time.
Yeah.
And so that becomes like, you got these, we got to do it, we got to do it, we got to do it. Like you were talking about, right?
Yeah.
You're getting ready the day before for the next day, and then all that time, that day before, and then the next day, you're like, I'm making a
Yeah.
lot of money.
Yeah, let's chat about that because Aaron brought that up at the beginning of the call too before you got on. Again, this assumption of like, I don't want to oversell or overpromise.
Right.
And I agree, but I also want to just show you another way of looking at that.
Yeah.
Anytime you have higher demand than what you can supply, that is a good thing for you. You are in your strength zone. So don't look at that as a bad thing. I feel like you were sort of interpreting that as something to be avoided at all costs. If you can get to the point where people want your stuff and you cannot keep up, that doesn't have to make you feel frantic, but it puts you in a position of strength because now you can decide to raise your price. You can decide to, because you have scarcity built in, right? You can create a wait list. And now there's again this sense of like, you can only get their stuff if you're on a wait list.
Yeah.
And it gives you then time to methodically scale. Like you can kind of see what's the pattern of the wait list. It seems like always have 20 or whatever.
Yeah.
Then you can kind of know, all right, looks like we need to, if we want to, if we still, if this still fits our definition of fun, we could grow to accommodate them about by this much and then kind of resettle and then see if the wait list builds again, right?
Yeah.
Like, so you'll have that ability to do that. So don't be afraid of pushing the edge. So figure out where your edge is. It's going to feel a little uncomfortable there. And then stay there for a little while, recalibrate, ride that wave of scarcity and the wait list, and maybe even play around with, oh, I'm going to raise my price on my eggs.
Well,
So
so what we
everybody
did,
wants.
I talked to Karina, I talked to Aaron the other day, and I says, we need more chickens. And so we're incubating some right now.
Yeah.
And so the coolest part is we already have the raw materials to have eggs incubate, brought to us to incubate to make more chickens, right? Either roosters for the meat processing or the hens for the laying, right? So now we've gone that route and we're doing that route. And so I think once we get those 16, depending upon how many roosters and hens and all that stuff, but once that happens, then we'll kind of resettle and say, okay, where are we right now? But I love the idea about the wave of scarcity and demand from that point of view. And just not getting stressed out and just saying, listen, this is all we have. We're going to give you some as soon as we get some more, but we have a way.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
Or you can even take a pre-sale, right? Like, especially when it comes to chickens, be like, put a deposit down.
I don't know if Erin told you, she was actually off. She said, if we give you money, can you go buy chickens to lay them and we'll buy those eggs? And I said, I don't want to get in that process. I don't want to go it's a good idea, but then all of a sudden we have some real issues there from, well, we bought the chickens, we put the money in for the chickens, we should have this, we're the first customers that should get some. And all of a sudden we have summer come along and we have 3 eggs versus 20. So that becomes this thing. So
you could also look into finding another supplier that does chickens the way you do. And if you run short occasionally, just be like, hey, can you help me out? And, you won't make a lot of profit there, obviously, but
we'll meet the demand.
But you'd be able, just having, it's almost like a plan B. We have those. I mean, we have wholesale suppliers that have our backs. If we need something for our CSA box, we go like, hey, we need potatoes. Like, can you just sell us some potatoes for this week? And we put that into our budget every year to be able to do that like 4 or 5 times. We don't expect ourselves to do everything.
That's smart. Yeah, to kind of give yourself that like trap door of
Yeah. As you expand, like when you bump up
yeah,
against those edges, and then you can kind of
yeah,
get more clear about, well, what is the supply now? What is the
yeah.
demand? Looks like I need to try and get a few more dozen every week or whatever, and you'll
Yeah.
calibrate.
So, Karina,
Um,
one thing I want to ask is from what Aaron has talked to you about and what you know about us, are there top two or three things that you think that we really need to concentrate and focus on right now for the next 6 months, 3 months, year
mhm.
that you kind of hear in our voices and listen and see our website and know what's going on with us?
Yeah. It sounds like you are developing a good top of funnel strategy. I don't think that's going to be so much of the initial focus. Or you seem to have ideas that are floating.
Right.
Mhm.
I want to double check here and like find out what does the middle of the funnel look like? So once they come into your world, um, are you emailing them? Are you capturing their email? Are you continuing to
Yeah,
talk to them and develop them?
we've
Because I feel like there's a nurture
yeah,
opportunity here that if you build that middle section,
yeah,
um, they'll maybe sit in that for 2 months and then they're going to turn into buyers. So like,
yeah.
what does that look like?
So right now I have it set up. Like when I first kind of got into some of your stuff, I did make like a nurture sequence.
Hmm.
Looking back on it, like now, even a couple months later, I'm like, I need to go back and like rework that at some
Hmm.
point in the not so distant future. Just to make it a little bit more tight.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we do have like when they first sign up, I've got like a weekly email that kind of goes out to them. And I think there's 4 or 5 of them that go out and
Okay.
just kind of highlight the different products and, talk about the
Hmm.
farm and how it benefits them, putting them
Hmm.
like,
Yep.
using that story brand idea. And then I try to send out an email. Well, and I don't try. The last couple of months, I do a monthly email just because that's kind of
Okay.
what I can handle right now to keep it fun.
Yep.
And I'm utilizing a lot of like chat GPT to like help
Good.
with that and then refining it. I've kind of got it like narrowed down to where it really sounds kind of what
Ah,
we
it's
do.
awesome.
Yeah, it's streamlined a whole bunch of stuff. And so keeping that monthly email pattern and then that kind of nurture sequence.
Okay.
I post to the social media. We're posting daily, a couple of times a day in different formats on Facebook and Instagram. Um, and so that's kind of where like we are
That's
encouraging
where you're
people to
at.
like
Okay.
sign up for the email and then follow us online.
Okay.
Right.
So based on that, I have a few, I guess, suggestions
Yes.
that I would focus on then in the next few months. Probably the most important one
What's
is figuring out your product ladder. It sounds like I want to make sure that you have products in your product ladder that have a good profit margin because you're
Yeah.
not going to make a lot of money from eggs. I hate to tell you that.
No.
So figure out what you want your customer to become. Like what as they quote unquote graduate, what are you hoping your ideal customer is buying from you on a, let's say, monthly basis?
Yeah.
And you should have a dollar figure attached to that dream
Okay.
customer. I want you to be tracking numbers because it ultimately, if a business is, if you want to be able to leave your teaching job someday, you're going to have to
Yeah.
know these numbers. It's okay that you don't know that now. You've only been doing it for a year, but start
Yeah.
tracking like how many times does a person buy eggs from me in a typical year? Like one
Yeah.
customer, find the average. How many times are they buying chickens? What is my average order value? And you may find that right now it's not really great, but that's probably because you just haven't built amazing packages yet, right? You
Yeah.
have to make
Yeah. We
offers.
don't have any like bundles or anything like
Right,
that quite yet.
right. So
So
you're going to play around in the world of offers, of
okay.
creating that kind of includes creating products, how you bundle products, how you position the products, what order you put them in, like as you move people through them.
Yeah.
Um, Pricing, play with pricing. Um, Yeah. And then offers are also like the deals, like how you choose to message it. So, buy this bundle at this price or spend $50 and you'll get a
Yeah.
coupon code for your next offer is $5 off, whatever. Like that kind of a
Okay.
thing is an offer or get a free blah, blah, blah when you spend $75 or So there is an offer for a class in the farm marketing school that might be worth even just going
Yeah.
and downloading the offer sheet that's in there to give you ideas of offer styles. That might
Yeah.
be if you don't want to watch the class. Okay, so that's like the first thing. I would also say collecting social proof is another thing that you should focus on.
Yeah.
Anywhere that I go in any other industry where they teach marketing, they're always talking about as you're starting out your business, one of the first things you want to do is collect testimonials. And one thing
Yeah.
you could do even is be willing to give away product for free
Right.
in return for, so it's not really free because you're like, hey,
Yeah.
I'm giving this to you, but only because you're going to write me a testimonial.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's the transaction. They pay a testimonial to you, or that you say you need to take. I want a testimonial on my Google reviews, and I want you to send me a picture of the thing you made with this, and send me a picture, and then also post it and talk about how awesome it was, and tag me. Like that might be your cost of giving them the free chicken
Okay.
bundle. You don't do that forever. You just do it like, I don't know, 5, 6 times so that you have these testimonials, and then you can use those on your website, homepage. You can put it in your product description. You can be posting that in your social media on a rotation. Just use those same 5 testimonials over and over and over again
Yeah.
until you start collecting more. And then you kind of move them in, right? Social proof is in the early parts of the business important because new
Okay.
customers won't come in or try the next thing in the ladder unless they kind of see, oh wow, that looks really good. I can imagine myself making that.
Yeah.
So that would be the second thing that comes to mind as you're talking about what do we focus on. I feel like you're probably doing okay with social media right now. Um, in your weekly emails or your monthly emails, make
Hmm.
sure that you are issuing an offer.
Yeah.
And it could be in the PS. It doesn't have to be the whole point of the email, but it could just be give them something to give them some kind of a call to action, something they
Okay.
can click on.
Right.
Because they need to know, like, you're a business. They're
Yeah.
expecting you to like sell them something eventually. So don't be
Yeah.
afraid to put that out there. You will not make money unless you ask them to buy from you. So that's why I want you
Yes.
to figure out, what is my offer? Like, what is my ladder look like? What can I play around in the sandbox
Yeah.
for a few months? You'll find your sweet spots. You'll find your ideal gateway offers. You'll find your ideal like signature offer that will eventually come together. But you just got to play, beta test things.
Yeah.
Those are the two
I think one thing that
big
we
things, and and tracking your metrics. So like just
Yeah.
really like getting clear
I have not
about,
been great about that.
yeah, like why, if I want to like go, and even going backwards, like if I want to make, let's not even start at your salary to replace your
Yeah.
salary. Be like, I want to make $10,000 this year.
right.
Like there are many different ways to get to $10,000. You could
Yeah.
either sell 6,000 eggs, right? At six, or
Yeah.
what, not, that's not true, but whatever the number is, right?
Whatever the number is.
Or
Yeah.
you could sell this many eggs and this many chickens.
Yeah.
Or you could sell this many bundles of XYZ plus this many eggs plus this many chicken breasts, right? Like to kind of figure out like what are the different ways I could get to that number. And maybe 10,000 is the wrong number for the first year. But then that's going to help you see, oh, I've got to sell 50 packages of chicken breasts.
Well, it's one thing I'm
Mm,
looking at
Yeah.
the arena is the consumables. So if
mhm.
we sell honey, honey doesn't go right away. Somebody doesn't use
Right.
jar of honey in a month. It's going to be there for 2-3 months.
But it also lasts for that long, as opposed to some things that are perishable.
Right, exactly. So you'll sit there and say, okay, quail eggs. And so the other day we're at the bar and this woman's quail eggs. I go, my wife just pickled those.
Hmm.
Pickled them. They go, oh, what? And the bar person, Leah, who's one of the managers there, she goes, oh my God, we pickled those too, and they were so good. And so now that becomes kind of that, Aaron, what do I call that? It's a after it's a there's a term for it.
I got nothing.
Like a lead magnet, or no?
It's
Like a lure pulls you in?
it's a term where you have an egg and then you do something with it and then you sell that.
Oh, value added.
There you go. Value
Yeah,
added.
yeah.
There you
Mhm.
go. So the value added is, hey, we have quail eggs,
Yeah.
and value added, by the way, we have these pickled quail eggs,
Yeah.
and you too can have pickled quail eggs
Yeah. Right.
if you know da 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 da.
Right. Or
So
if the sausage idea,
the
I just know
sausage,
you're gonna go, or
Hmm.
you could turn things into jerky.
right? And
Um,
even bringing the honey into the sausage.
or honey sticks,
Yeah,
or like
Yeah.
there's a lot of value added. Value added is so rich. Like if you
exactly.
can start playing in that sandbox,
That's huge.
that would
Yeah,
be huge. Yeah. So ultimately, you want to have a product suite that has, more than just three items in it. The
right.
more there is such a thing as having too many things in your product suite, but
Hmm.
um,
We're not there yet.
you're nowhere near that,
No.
because the more you have in there, the higher your average order value can
Yeah.
become.
I like the honey stick idea though too. That's kind of that
Yeah.
for your kids. Here's
Oh
something
yeah, it's a
to
snack.
snack on and after school or in your lunchbox or whatever. And
Yeah. You know what? This is making me realize it might be helpful for you guys to do a little bit of research of other farms that do honey, that
yeah,
do who've been more established, and just go see what are they doing? Like what are they selling? Um, yeah, like Stacy Edwards is coming to mind. She's in farm marketing school. I did a podcast with her, but if you even go to her website,
who's that?
I'm trying to remember Edwards Family Farms, I think. I'll look up her website and I'll email it to you.
Okay.
Um, but just go look at her store.
Yeah.
She's got so much in there, and it'll just give you ideas like, oh, I never thought of that, or even how I name the product.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
I saw that you have it's not Local Line. What's the other
Barn to
store?
door.
Barn to Door. You have the Barn to Door platform,
Yes.
and so even creating different. You could have the same exact product in there. It's just in a different category,
Yeah.
to suggest a different way that you would use it. And if you go look at Stacy's website, she does that brilliantly. So she has like barbecue favorites. And so the chicken might show up in there too. And then
Yeah.
she has another category called um, um, like, well, she has one called Your Farmer's Bestsellers, and
Yeah.
it shows up in there too. And then she's got like 20 categories, and you see that
Okay.
same product show up different times. And sometimes it switches someone, the consumer goes, oh, now I want that chicken because that
right,
category is like making me think of how I could use it.
right.
But she also has other like value added products in there. So you can kind of see, oh,
Yeah.
I never thought I could make that. I could use my chicken to make that. Or dog food, like raw dog food line is
Hmm.
crazy,
Right,
as
right.
well. So
Karen and I talked about that the other day about
yeah,
how our things, we're talking about rabbits and vegetables and creating our own what do you say, Aaron, the chicken feed or the dog food or
It
whatever.
was dog food. Yeah. I was like, just
Just
for personal, like, get
yeah,
off of the store-bought stuff and,
right.
yeah,
make our own.
And we know how it's done, we know how it's grown, and we know how it's built and all these other things. So now you have this real confidence in knowing I know what was fed into this chicken. I know,
yeah,
these put into the soil for the plants.
Yeah.
I know it's all good nutrients. I know it's not some chemical that you,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
But the value added is definitely. I mean, you could go a myriad. This it's cornucopia of all kinds of.
yeah. I think you should explore that. Just you
Yeah.
guys are in a really strong spot.
Okay.
In the early stages, it's supposed to feel very like chaotic, and you're throwing a lot of things against the wall, and you're trying to figure out what does my customer want. You're following the energy. Pay attention to where there is already energy. Where is a customer turning their head to look at you?
Yeah.
What are they asking for? What do they get excited about? And you already have a few flares. I can see
Right.
them.
Yeah.
So just kind of stay there for a while and watch for the next one. And when you see another flare, go experiment and play there for a little bit. But just keep in mind, I've seen some people do that and then they follow all these rabbit trails and they're not profitable at
Right.
all, right?
Right.
So just be mindful of that always. Like, does the money, that's why I wanted you to make sure you're tracking your metrics. That's kind of
Yeah.
that
Mhm.
third thing, right?
I
Like,
had that on board.
really get clear about like,
Yeah.
what is my, look at your books. What are my customers spending with me every month and every year? You can
Mhm.
track that. The metrics class is really good in farm marketing school.
Okay.
I give you an actual spreadsheet that you can
Yep.
use to be tracking those three key metrics. It's um, not hard. Just copy and paste the spreadsheet, and you just got to spend 20 minutes every month going putting the numbers in from your platform. But
Right.
Yeah.
it'll help you see that's the number I need to get to. And it just keeps your eye on the right targets.
Yeah.
Instead of getting off in these rabbit trails, but like, no, I gotta hit that number.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that means I have to focus on this, not that.
I think the one thing that we have in our favor is we're not at a financial crisis ever.
Yeah.
We're not just selling whatever we can to
Yes.
make the mortgage every month. We're fine. We're good. We're flush. We have
Yeah.
all that we need, and this is just really, as Aaron said, fun. And we just want to have that carry that through, so that if she does at one point say, you know what, I'm going to the farm, I'm going to the ranch.
Yeah.
Peace out.
Yeah.
Come on by if you
Yeah.
want to meet me and see me, but a lot of, I'll tell you, there's people that just say. The other day, a woman said, "Oh my God, I love watching you, Aaron. I love what you say. I love the videos. I love how things."
That's a good sign.
Yeah.
It was
It's a
watching,
very good
not
sign.
because she's a friend, but I think because she's interested in it.
Yeah, well, you're a natural teacher, and so that's going to help you
Yeah.
automatically.
Yeah. She
And very down to
does really
earth.
well with that on that side.
Mhm.
So
So what's your next milestone, do you think, before we wrap up? What do you like? As your coach, I want to encourage you to imagine some kind of a milestone so that when you hit it, you can celebrate it.
sell all of our chicken meat.
By when?
That's the question. I don't know.
Well, we do have, I would say for me, it would be, we've got turkeys that we're growing and going to process before Thanksgiving. And so I've got like kind of a plan of how we're going to, because turkey is something that people usually buy the whole bird
Yes.
and they cook the whole thing. And so I would say probably if we can sell, we've got 13 turkeys. So if we could sell at least 10 of them,
In your mind, Karina,
maybe 8.
what would be a milestone that you would throw out for us to just consider that we're not considering?
Um,
Because I know that we think from a certain point of view.
yeah.
From your
Well,
point of
let me
view,
give you an example of one that I had that is not related to farming,
there you go.
but it's a different way of thinking about it. So when I was sick, a year and a half ago, and I had really bad digestive issues, I couldn't eat. I couldn't even imagine being healthy again. Like I just couldn't even go there.
Mhm.
But one of the things that I created as a milestone for myself that I would journal every day was I would say, I'm lying in my um, lawn chair outside in the sun, in my swimsuit in the
Uh-huh.
summer, fully inclined, and I'm just feeling so much energy and joy. I'm feeling the sun like beating into me. Now, that might sound like a weird thing to be a milestone, but at the time, I could not lie down flat. I could only sit up. I had to sleep sitting up in the lazy
Aaron was
boy,
at that point.
right? And so this whole idea of like my life changing again, like to me that being able to lie back again and enjoy sitting in the sun would be an indication that I had healed. So I could have just written, I am symptom free of reflux and blah, blah, blah. But I
Yeah.
wanted there to be like, what would I be doing if I were symptom free? So that might be a milestone for you. Like, I take a vacation to so and so because I have made the money. I'm like, you could say, we made $10,000 and that's our goal. Or you could
Yeah.
say, my husband and I go to such and such location on a vacation that costs $4,000, right? You know that. But that's taking the vacation is going to be evidence that you hit the milestone because
Yeah.
only a person in financial security who hit this target would be doing that.
Right.
That makes sense. So like I guess that's what I want to challenge you to like think in terms of when you hit a target, what does that make you able to do? Or how will you feel? Or what's something you could go have access to and that you will go take advantage of? You will manifest something in your
Right.
life. What is that thing you will manifest? And that could be the milestone that you're aiming for.
Okay.
That's another way to think about it. But I liked your idea of just, I'm going to sell You could have multiple milestones, okay? But like,
Yeah.
if to you 10 chicken or 10 turkeys feels like a stretch right now, then make that be your milestone. It should feel a
Yeah.
little bit over the edge. It shouldn't be like too
Yeah.
far over, but just a little bit over to push your edge farther. And
Yeah.
then as your coach, I'm going to challenge you to pre-sell those turkeys.
Yeah.
What is it? You should pre-sell them now.
Yeah.
The
That's
next 2 weeks. Like
the
send an
plan.
email.
I think in like late mid-September. Yeah, kind of in like a couple
In the
weeks,
next 2 weeks, because all of
kind
my
of
like
start pre-selling.
my
Yep.
accelerator members who are like the upper
Yeah.
tier people, like they're actually selling them in August. They're pre-selling them in
Yeah.
August and they sell out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
don't be afraid to sell out early.
Yeah.
Even you could try this, be like, I only have 5 turkeys available, even though you have 13.
Yes.
You only say, I'm only pre-selling 5. I'm making
Yeah.
available 5 to pre-sell. Now
Right.
you've just created urgency in your
Yeah.
offer.
I see.
And they might, probably all going to sell out. You know that you still have potentially 6 or 7.
Yeah.
And then you can sell those as you get closer and people are like, oh my God, it's Thanksgiving in 4 weeks. I need a turkey. And now you're like,
Yeah.
well, I've only got 4.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's all how you position it.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Cool.
You're going to hit that number easily.
Yeah. I think so.
And then you're going to be like, I didn't set a high enough goal for myself.
True.
That's how it usually goes though. At first
Yeah.
we can't quite believe that we can do it. And then we're like, oh, well, I did that in one email. Okay.
Yeah.
What else is
Okay.
possible? I'm
Yeah.
making things harder than they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
All right.
well, thank
Any other
you.
final questions before we go? This was great, you guys.
I'm good. Yeah. No, this has been awesome. Thank you so much.
Thanks so
I'm wondering if I could use this as a podcast episode. I don't always ask this, but I just feel like this was really a beautiful back and forth, and like,
Yeah.
especially your whole like live in the land of fun thing. I think a
Oh,
lot
yeah.
of farmers need to hear that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Do I have your permission?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Well,
Yeah. If you need any follow-up stuff for the podcast, let me know.
yeah, I'll probably ask you to send me a bio or something and
Okay.
a photo, or if you have one that we can
We got several.
graphic.
Yeah. Sounds great.
This was so great, and I believe in you guys. You have so much energy, and you're coming from a place where there isn't fear.
No.
Yeah.
There isn't desperation, like I have to do this by such and such day. That's always that's a hard place to live
It's
in.
a hard place to be in.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We would not be in a place of fun if that was the case.
Yeah. Just follow
Right.
the energy, stay in the land of fun, and
Yeah. I think we might have to
let the
read
universe
our-
unfold as it wants to. It will
Yep.
it will show you exactly what to do. Okay?
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you
Thanks,
so
guys.
much.
Take
Take
care.
care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much, Erin and Glenn, for sharing that episode with the rest of my audience. I hope that you guys could hear how by the end of that call, they had some confirmation that they were on a good path. They had some validation, encouragement, inspiration, and direction. And I always love it when I can end my calls that way. I can see that there's energy, there's excitement, there's a sense of this is where I need to go and what I need to do next, and a resolve. So I encourage you to glean some wisdom from that conversation. Maybe there was one little nugget of truth or wisdom that really spoke to you today, and you can take action on it or lean into that principle and test it out over the next few weeks. And come inside for our marketing school and be a part of this amazingly supportive community. There's so many people in there with brilliant ideas, and we are stronger together. So I'd love to hang out with you this coming winter. Think about it, okay? mydigitalfarmer.com/FMS, even if you just try it out for a month and see what you think. Today's show notes can be found at mydigitalfarmer.com/331. And if you liked this episode, you want to share it with someone, go grab the link, text it to someone, or go and leave me a rating or a review for the show on whatever podcast player you're on. And if you want to get onto my email list, I have some free stuff to send your way to make your marketing better. It's really good. I'm a natural teacher. So you can subscribe by going to mydigitalfarmer.com/subscribe, and I will hold your hand for the next 3 months and walk you through some of the key principles that will help you become a better marketer, I promise. I'm also on Instagram at My Digital Farmer. I'd love to connect with you there. And otherwise, thanks for joining me today. Have an amazing week. And remember, I believe in you. Have a good one. Bye-bye.